From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
László Rajk, a practicing architect and production designer, is professor in production design at the University of Theatre and Film in Budapest. He is also known as a former dissident and human rights activist. As an architect and freelance artist, he became a member of the Hungarian avant-garde movement in the 70s. In 1975, he joined the democratic opposition, the underground political movement in Hungary, as a result of which he was blacklisted and was not allowed to work under his own name. In 1981, with Gábor Demszky, future mayor of Budapest and former speaker here 2 months ago, he founded the independent underground AB Publishing House and ran an illegal bookstore from his apartment called the Samizdat Boutique. In 1988, he was one of the founders of the Network of Free Initiatives and the Liberal Party, the Alliance of Free Democrats, and served 6 years in Parliament after the first free elections in 1990. Since 1972, he has been the production designer of several Hungarian and international films, working with Béla Tarr, Miklós Jancsó, Szabolcs Hajdú, Marta Mészáros, Péter Gotthár, Costa Gavras, John Irwin, Fatih Akin, Joseph Sargent, and Vittorio Storaro. Since 1992, he has been an associate professor, Department of Theory and Art at the University of Theatre, Film, and Television in Budapest, and in 2005 he received a doctorate from the Faculty of Architecture, the Budapest University of Technology and Economics. If I were to read a list of his awards and honors and publications, we would have no time for his talk. So all I will say is that there are many. Right now he is coming to us from Princeton University, where he gave lectures on film and architecture. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker, Dr. László Rajk.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction, and especially thank you very much for the possibility that I could be here. And we discussed a little bit that what would be the style of this presentation. And so first I decided that I would talk a little bit on art movies as such, because they are generally very, very different from let's say normal or commercial or Hollywood or Bollywood or whatever movies, but sometimes the structures are very same. So they are different in their style, in their camera movement, in their composition, in the storytelling line, in narratives, in characters, the problems what they reveal. So it seems that they are very different, but they are not that different, because even in art movies you have good art movies and bad art movies. You have boring art movies and exciting art movies. So they are high budget movies. There are low budget movies. So there are all kind of things. Why I'm happy to be here to recruit a little bit the audience of art movie, because they need, and I think that it worth to recruit and to see. I was hesitating when I got the invitation. I was hesitating to show only one art movie, or taking out spots or parts from different ones. Finally, I decided to do the previous. I mean, one art movie. Probably it's a little bit selfish that I worked on this art movie, The Man from London, sorry. And also, I think because it's a very heavy one. It's a very difficult one. So probably those, let's say, beginners, if you are through this movie, you would enjoy all of them. And but probably it's so if it's too slow, too boring, too just blame me. It's my mistake. Especially it's my mistake because we can't have the whole movie throughout from the beginning to the end because it's 2.5 hours and we have a shorter time. So it's what I would like to show you. It's rather the storytelling, how it's developed, and camera moves, and the visual, the most typical visual parts of this movie, because it's a very visual movie. Sometimes the narratives are told by the visual effects, by the visual parts, and not really verbally. Before we start, one more thing, that the script is based on a crime story of Georges Simenon. He's a very famous French crime writer, so to say. It was written in the 1935-36. It was very successful. It with the same title, L'Homme de Londres, The Man from London, and it got several publications. The last edition was at the premiere of Béla Tarr's movie, The Man from London, and the cover page was my design on the cover page of the. So I'm very proud of it, and it's my book in a way, and the movie got nominated in Cannes, in Festival of Cannes. It had a success, and Tarr has a very special audience throughout the world. He has kind of fan clubs almost everywhere, in New York, in Tokyo, in Paris, in Budapest. But the members of those fan clubs are not very numerous, but there are. So just a small introduction before we start. The first part going to be a kind of a long part of the movie. It explains a little bit the situation where we are starting from, and it really gives the essence of the style of the movie. Lots of film historians telling it was released in 2007, the movie, and a lot of film historians telling that this first shot is going to be in film history. It's such an outstanding in aesthetics, in narratives, by all means. The story takes place originally in Dieppe, that's a harbor town in France, and why it was very interesting for me as an architect, and why it was, beside that it was an honor to work with Béla, it was interesting to design it because the crime story takes place in space, so it's three-dimensional, which is very rare. Generally, crime stories, it could be Agatha Christie or anyone else. It's like a chessboard. The actors or the protagonists are moving always in two-dimensionally, and you don't have a third dimension, which is very important. The third dimension, you will see right at the beginning, that it's very important that our protagonist has a position that he could observe everything from an elevated point of view. And you will see that why it is important, because he witnesses all kinds of things. Given this fact that it's a three-dimensional, at the beginning or in the preparation period, we wanted to find some kind of a model we could work, and which would emphasize this three-dimensional model. And finally, we found strange model, that's Dante's Divina Commedia, the Inferno. And so the movie is somehow structured according to the first six, seven circles of of Inferno, of Dante's Inferno. And before each part, I'm going to tell you that where are we, or where we are at the moment. So I would suggest to see the first part. It's going to be something like 25 minutes as far as I remember.
Be careful.
I will.
will fucking do this! Fucking God!
Salut.
I think it's right to agree that it's a very special style. It's a very special narrative. It's almost without words we can learn a very complicated story, and we all understand that what the situation is. Before going on, I think I should have introduced, however, those people who made the movie. First of all, Béla Tarr, who is the director. Cinematographer is Fred Kelemen from Germany. The great help of the director, and for me as well, besides she is the editor, Agnes Hranicki. Writer is László Rajk, based on the novel of Simenon and George Simenon, and music is Mihai Víg, sorry, which is one could say that it's also very important. Before going on, I think it's not really necessary. However, I would say that one could learn that this man, our protagonist Malovan, who is sitting on this tower, in his tower, high up. It's over the edge of this inferno, what I was talking about, but it's always night. And at the moment when the sun comes out, he comes back to our level, to the inferno, which is not the very serious level, so it's not beyond the 7 circles. It's just the first 6, which is kind of mild things like laziness, greediness, this type of things, which is kind of forgettable things, but still belongs to Dante's final crater, so to say. So our protagonist lives an everyday life. From the next part, we will be sure that he's always on the night shift. In the morning, as I thought, he comes down to ground, and he goes for the first shot to the pub, to the cafe, and then he goes home, and then he bangs the table with his wife a little bit. Then he gets eat, and then he goes to bed. He closed the shutter of the window so there wouldn't be light in his room, and in the night it starts from the beginning. Let's see the next night. So as we see, it's not only that he is witnessing crime from from his point of view, but also he's discovered that he is witnessing. Again, without a word, it tells right away the story, and we start to feel that his life is off the rails, and he cannot continue this vicious circle. However, it's vicious, but it's still kind of a stable life. And let's see what happens next.
Il y a quelqu'un dans la cabane.
Quoi?
J'ai vu un homme dans la cabane, derrière la barque.
À quoi il ressemble?
Je sais pas, j'ai vu que ses yeux.
Il t'a dit quelque chose?
Non, j'ai eu peur. J'ai fermé la cabane et j'ai couru jusqu'à la maison.
Comment? Tu l'as enfermé dans la cabane?
Excuse-moi, papa.
Écoute-moi bien. Tu vas en parler à personne. Jamais à personne. Tu as compris? Pas un mot. Je m'en occupe. La clé?
Papa, qu'est-ce que tu vas faire?
Rien.
Tu vas pas lui faire de mal, hein? Fais attention à toi, papa.
T'en fais pas. Brown. Brown.
So as I told in our story, in the space where it takes place, it has two limits. One, that we never go over the edge of the crater of the Inferno. The other, that we never go beyond the seven circles, which is a very sharp border beyond the wall of this. That's the lower circles of murders, of violence, of killing, etc. We, the audience, we never go beyond this. The door is shut in front of us, but we know what happens there. And again, we know what happened. Again, without a word, without actually looking at or observing the murder, the killing, we still know what happens, which is a very interesting trick, if I may use this word, of filmmaking, that our mind somehow adds to the story. I'm not going to tell the end of the story, since it's a crime story, and hopefully you're going to borrow it from the Library of Congress, and you will watch this movie. If anyone has, I'm almost on time. If anyone has question, please. Yes?
Could you talk about your work as a production designer, like how you go about creating the designs and what?
It was filmed in Bastia, in Corsica, which belongs to France. That's an island. And why we were choosing this location, because it could be seen in however it's open towards the sea, and we have this vast horizon, so to say, freedom and hope, etc. There is a big wall which circles us into the harbor because of high waves, and I mean practically. But visually, it was very important for us that Manoan, the figure, our hero, is always, in this crater, and he never sees the horizon. And I personally like, as a production designer, but generally my friends, production designers, like that something is on the edge of the perception. So probably, by the 13 minutes or 40th minutes, even the audience realizes that he could see this horizon, the hope, when he's up in his tower. But immediately when there is the possibility light comes up, he comes down, and he goes back to this vicious circle. So it's that was this is where the model of Dante came, Inferno. Otherwise, we built everything. So we built the tower, what you saw. We built the train tracks, we built the train, because there is a very special train in Corsica, I'm not getting into details. We built the ship, because the nose of the ship was very low, so we kind of hired it or made it taller. We did, the cafe was there, but of course the door, but we had to transfer. So basically everything was built there in a way that it looks very natural, that it's there. So it's the locals. I have to tell you that the locals, when I started to build, especially the train tracks, they saw that I was absolutely crazy and idiot, because I was working alone. The production designer always arrives first to the location, so I was working with locals, and they were really, they saw that it's beside that we are all decadent. That was the, how should I say, the mildest insult. There were some other things as well. But they were very nice. It was really, it was friendship to work with them. Yes?
Often when people use like detective novels in Latin America, have been often understood as a political stand, often a political stand for the left. Do you see this film talking about that kind of question?
No, it talks, about one could have, of course, like with a good art movie, you have different interpretations. For example, I've heard in Princeton when I was doing this master class that money shows the cruelty or the devil capitalism which pushes people off their normal life, because it's basically money which finally results that Malovan goes and kills someone. So, for example, that's quite an extreme interpretation. So in a way, sometimes it depends much more on the audience than the will of the director, that how it's interpreted. This young man in Princeton, he interpreted it like a very, very severe criticism of capitalism. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you will enjoy if you watch the movie. Thank you very much.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.